Hello, I'm Lil Tony, and welcome to Cooking with Lil Tony. Today I will be making Indian potato bread for you, and this will be an all-out guide on the process of making Indian potato bread. My assistant will be Big Tony. He will also be my cameraman for this production. Okay, let's get this started. So the first step in making this bread is you're going to need potatoes. You're going to need a whole cupful of them. Now to start out, you're going to want to wash them, which I did before we started this, okay? So then you're going to take your peeler, and you're going to peel said potatoes. We'll resume once the potatoes are all peeled. Hello, and welcome back. See, now that we've got these wonderful potatoes peeled for you all, I'm going to list off the ingredients you're going to need for this dish. Now, you're going to need a cup of mashed potatoes, said potatoes. You're going to need a tablespoon of salt, a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a half teaspoon ground turmeric, and a tablespoon fresh cilantro. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil to fry it in, and 2 cups of whole wheat flour, 3/4 cups vegetable oil, and a tablespoon of melted butter. Now, to mash your potatoes, there's a variety of methods you can use. You can put it in a bag and have your assistant, said Big Tony, smush it, or you can take your wonderful mix master and simply grind them down. Okay, now that we have our potatoes mashed, we can start the next step in the process, which is going to be mixing all your ingredients to make the dough. Okay, so you're going to take your cup of mashed potatoes, you're going to dump it in, then you're going to take just a little bit of salt, just a little sprinkle. Okay guys, just a little smidgen like that, nothing serious. Then after you do that, you're going to add your cayenne, and that's going to be a half teaspoon. So that's the little one, guys. It's a little one. Don't use the big one. That's a tablespoon. That's bad. So you're just going to measure out a little rough half there. Now, if you go a little over, it's not going to make much of a difference. If you go a little under, it's not going to make much of a difference. Just try and stay close enough. So this looks about right. So you're going to dump that in. Then after you put your cayenne in, you're going to put your turmeric, and that's, again, the same measurement. So, grab that, measure out. Some of these have these nice little lids that you can just pull off so you don't have to shake them in. Okay, that looks about right. Dump that in. Then after you add that, you're going to add your cilantro. And your cilantro is going to be 1 tablespoon. So that's where you come in with the big spoon here. This one may make you sneeze a little bit, it's kind of strong. Anyways, so you get a full tablespoon here. Full tablespoon. Okay, that looks about right. You dump that in. Then your next step is going to be add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. So again, your big spoon. And you add 3 of them. There's 1, 2, and 3. So now, after you add your vegetable oil, you're going to mix it, okay? So you're going to take out your handy dandy mix master again and mix her up. And we'll show you the next step in a sec. So once you mix it up, it should look something like this. You'll have your yellowish brown, almost paste at the bottom with your leaves plainly visible. So the next step is going to be, you're going to have to add 2 cups of whole wheat flour. So you take your 1 cup here, you measure it out, and you add it in a little bit at a time. So you don't want to add the whole thing in at once. So just keep adding it in a little bit at a time. So you got your whole cup in there. Then after a little bit, it's going to start to get a little bit stickier and more of a paste instead of just this mashed potato mush that it is now. So just keep mixing it in until you've got the whole cup in there. And then you're going to repeat the process once again until you have both cups in. So we'll show you what that looks like when we're done with this. Okay, so once you get your dough, it's still going to be kind of in the little chunks. What you're going to do is you're going to manually knead it with your hands until you end up with a bowl like this. Now when you feel it, it shouldn't really press together. It'll still have these cracks like this in it, but it should be together in one ball. So it's going to feel really like, almost like putty is what you're going to want it to feel like. So the next step that you're going to have to do is you're going to heat your oven pan to medium heat, which on most standard ovens is 3. Then you're going to take these things, you're going to roll them into lemon-sized balls, and you're going to flatten them out until they're about 1/4 inch thick. Then you're going to coat them in flour. Then you're going to put about a tablespoon of oil in the pan. And you're going to continually flip them until they form like these little brown calluses on them. That means they're done. So when we got them frying, we'll come back and we'll show you how it's done. So before you flatten out your potato dough, what you're going to want to do is you're going to roll them in your lemon-sized balls. You're going to get that far. Then you're going to put them in a bowl with oil on the bottom and coat them in the oil. Then you're going to let them sit in this bowl for 10 minutes to absorb as much oil as possible, as this will help them when they're cooking. And then after you've let them sit for 10 minutes, then you flatten them out and start cooking them. So this is what your globs dough should look like after they've been sitting in the oil for 10 minutes. What you're going to do next is you're going to flatten them out until they look to be about like this is what you're going to want them to be. Maybe even a little thinner than that. So probably smush them out to right about this size. So you're going to do this with all of them. And once they're all flattened, you're going to put some oil in your preheated pan. And then you're going to cook them. So we'll show you how to do that in a minute. So if you look here, this is what they look like as they're frying. So you see that they're starting to get golden brown on one side with brown spots. That means they're almost done. So if you just keep watching them like this, you're going to want both sides to be a nice dark golden brown like this guy here is. So then just wait for them to finish up and yeah. Okay, so here's the finished product of your Indian potato bread. Once you're done, it should look like these. All you have left to do with them is eat up and enjoy. Now, after this commercial break by a few of our sponsors, Big Tony's going to take over and he's going to show you how to make
cardamom basil Indian tea.
Okay, see you soon, guys.
Alright, this is Big Tony here on Big Tony's cooking channel. Today we're making cardamom basil Indian tea. And today I'll be making 1 cup to show you how it's made. Right here we got 250 milliliters of water. Right in there. And then we're going to have some sugar. We're going to do a 1/4 cup of sugar. Looking pretty nice. Put it in there. And then we got our tea leaves right here. 1 tablespoon or 1 bag. Put right in there. And then mix it all up. All good to go. Of course, you see here our tea ingredients. The water, the tea, and the sugar are all in there with the flame on low. And you're going to want to cook it until the sugar caramelizes and all of the tea becomes a nice caramel color.
Thank you.
As you see, the tea has caramelized, now the reddish brown color. So we're going to add a mix of ginger and basil to the tea. So once you have those seasonings in, you'll need a 1/2 cup of milk with crushed cardamom mixed in. And just add it to the tea. Then now you're going to increase the flame to about 1/2 or 5. As you see, the milk is beginning to rise, so we're going to take it out and filter it into here. And that will get rid of most of the solids, and your leftover is a nice tea.